They tryna turn Trenton into Baby Flint. Been signs by depression on the billboards ever since. 100 years ago we was lynched. Now they use germ warfare to kill us. I'm convinced, got the evidence. I look around and it's evident. Then go down to City Hall and see so much negligence. Real art is intelligent. A true artist sends messages that speak to your intelligence. They fought and died so I can do my thing. Not to get drunk and high or join no game. I will not let none of you die in vain. For my people I bang, bang, bang. My ancestors been through so much pain. I don't let them die in vain. My ancestors been through so much pain. I don't let them die in vain. I rep for you in everything I do. I rep for you in every place I go. I rep for you in everything I do. In every place I go. They say post-traumatic slavery disorder's fake, but I just tell them all to wake up. Everything we went through, what a way down a rape, bro. Isn't our genetic makeup. So I am my ancestors from block to block. Let's build like it's Tetris. We must unite, link up like a necklace. They fought and died and we disrespected. So I come to correct it. The legacy they left I protected. We only think about self and neglected. You're African but yet you rejected. No, my ancestors been through so much pain. I don't let them die in vain. My ancestors been through so much pain. I don't let them die in vain. I rep for you in everything I do. I rep for you in every place I go. I rep for you in everything I do. In every place I go. I do. I go.
Hey, assalamu alaikum. Welcome back to another edition of New Freedom Exchange, your cultural expression for social dignity and community development empowerment. I'm your co-host, Brother Deen, here with...
Assalamu alaikum, Sister Marsha.
Assalamu alaikum, Bilal.
Even Bilal Hassan, man. Come on, man. Even the bloopers. What's this, the bloopers week, man?
No, man. Come on, man. Please.
Nah, it's a good day. Good day. How y'all feeling today?
Yeah, it was a chill day, pretty relaxing. Ran some errands early this morning. Got my new freedom pie.
Ooh, sister.
Yeah, let's talk about it.
Hey, so let me tell you something about this pie, y'all. Okay.
Yeah, about that.
Y'all need to go and get your pie, okay, guys? Like when it comes
that includes you too, Imam.
Pie. Because I got this pie at 11 o'clock. There's only 4 people in this house. I promise you, there is 1 slice left. Okay? My kids ain't playing about this pie. Get your new freedom pie like yesterday, guys.
It's cool. We're going to play a commercial to get them real excited near the midtime, maybe midday. We probably play that commercial again.
Yeah, we go.
I was able to I was able to do a good deed, which I felt really good about. So on Friday, well, actually before Friday, I guess when Imam Bilal posted on Thursday, like last call for the prize or whatever, my uncle had put a post on Facebook and said he needed to get one of the pies, right? So I never responded to his post because I was like, if I can get him a pie, I'm gonna just pop up at the house. And I didn't get to see y'all Friday or Saturday, but I got to see Deen earlier today, so I went and dropped that pie off, and he was happy. So I was like, yes.
Oh, that's good.
I'm waiting for the review to come back so I can share.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Please share us a review, so we can know for next time what's up. We will be returning to the New York City tri-state area with more pies. Stay tuned for that information. And you gotta press the button as soon as you see it. You gotta press the button. I'm saying, because sometimes you don't press the button right away, and then we don't get your order in time, so we can do what we need to do on the back end. So
the pie is serious. It's the truth for real.
Yes. So alhamdulillah. So how was your day, brother D?
Oh man. Well, outside of the pie, the pie is what the pie is, world famous bean pie. I mean, but the kicker today that we also should be excited about as a team, we launched the Dr. Z's course on New Freedom Exchange. Man. So that was
happy birthday, Dr. Z.
Happy birthday, Dr. Z, man. He was rolling. We had the Stevie Wonders up in there, man.
Yes, I was jamming. I was like, I don't know if he's dancing over there, but I'm over here like, yes. Happy birthday, Dr. Z.
Yeah, that was Imam Bilal selection, aka you know what I mean, DJ Bilal over there, man. Eco beloved, man.
The ones and twos.
On the ones and twos, man. It's got something coming down the pipe for that too, but yeah. So yeah, shout out to Dr. Z. We just like Brother Dean said, we just launched NFX University. Dr. Z is our first instructor who's hosting his course material online with us, and so we're happy to have him. He is a very knowledgeable brother. He's been around the community for a long time. He's a very astute student, and we will be launching actually a couple other courses from a couple other community members and educators soon. So stay tuned for that, and you'll see more information as time goes on as we launch it.
Yes, sir. So that's good. So what are we here to today, man? We got a special guest today, man.
We get into the special guest. I didn't get my check in, Bilal.
Oh, I thought you. Okay, go ahead. Excuse me, Bilal.
Yeah, come on.
Go ahead.
Another blooper. Anyway, so alhamdulillah, today was a beautiful day, actually, weather-wise. Very comfortable. This weekend actually has been pretty good. This weekend, yesterday was nice. We volunteer at the farmers market in Laurelton. Myself and Brother Dean and my brother Sadruddin, Sabri. We all volunteered to help out with the setup with the sisters, and provide some more manpower over there to get things rolling. So alhamdulillah, we succeeded with that. Then we went down to see our beloveds in South Jersey, in Atlantic City. Took a trip down there. Got a tour of the area, and found out that there's a lot of rich history within our community, the African American Muslim experience down in Atlantic City. Masjid Muhammad, Temple number 10, formerly known as Temple number 10, and a lot of action was down there. Muhammad Ali was a frequented the area a lot. So Brother Malcolm also frequented the area a lot. So there was a lot of history. We got a nice tour of the area to where our businesses used to be down there. We had a lot of businesses, the Shabazz, the restaurants, you name it, some bakeries, etc. So it's wide open for real estate down there, wide open. So just putting that out there. So that was great. Today was chilled, like Brother Dean said. We launched Dr. Z's course today with his webinar as well, and alhamdulillah, man, the creator is good. Allah is good, man. Also, Sister Marsha, shout out to me and Sister Marsha. We're embarking on our studious journey together, and so is Brother Dean as well. He's one of the first groups in Imam Musa as well, in the Imam Rashad's class, on study and leadership class. So today was our second orientation for those who could make the first orientation for the new group. So you got to meet a few more of the new faces that will be in our group as well. So that's rather exciting. We're looking forward to the year-long journey together.
Yeah. Quick shout out too. I want to give a shout out to my baby.
Oh yes.
She's my big girl. She's my oldest daughter. Yesterday she had her first vending event. She did a pop-up shop at Masjid Darul Islam in Elizabeth, New Jersey, and she did very, very well. It was her first time, and she was so nervous, but she made it do what it do, and I tried to not stay so close to where she was, so that she was really put out in the forefront to really run her business, and she did it, alhamdulillah. So super proud of her. Her business is called Lux and Lavish, both on Instagram and Facebook, and she also has a website, luxandlavish.com. It's LUXE, the letter N, then lavish, LAVISH.com. So check her out. 16-year-old entrepreneur, super proud of her. Yeah.
Alhamdulillah, you can't beat that. You can't beat that, sister. So we wanted to shout out that, and we definitely gonna have that rolling, and we definitely have that rolling on the prosperity marketplace, as well. So definitely want to support. We want to support our young entrepreneurs.
All right. No further delay, man. Let's get it rolling, man. Sisters, yeah, I mean, come on, man. This is premier time, prime time right now.
We have with us a special guest, very special guest with us this evening. Sister Marsha, will you do the honors and reading
Absolutely.
our beloved sister's bio?
Absolutely. Sister Fatima Zahara is a educator, artist, and a writer who has lived and studied abroad in Senegal, West Africa at AAII, which is the African American Islamic Institute. There she learned the Quran, classical Arabic, religious, and scientific texts. She graduated both from Essex County College with a degree in liberal arts and Montclair State University with a bachelor's in Arabic and minor in linguistics. All right, sis. Montclair, MSU. She has lived and studied in Cairo, Egypt as an intensive language learner. Fatima has contributed to communal and social platforms with both internationally and nationally, and has strived to help young women who have suffered domestic violence and have experienced trauma. She has offered language sessions, tutoring inner city students as well. She's overseen nonprofits, curating and hosting weekly art shows and open mic sessions for adolescents. Okay, sis. She has performed as a poet at the Nuyorican. If I'm wrong,
that's in Lower Manhattan.
Okay.
Nuyorican
Poets Cafe.
Yeah.
The Lunar Stage, and other universities. Fatima has appeared and featured in numerous publications such as the International Malaysian Photo Awards alongside her daughter, and this year as a featured background actor on the 77th Golden Globe Award recipients writer, and star of show Rami with notable Mahershala Ali. I hope I got that right. A show on spirituality and struggles of many Muslim millennials face today. So without further ado, we'd like to bring our sister on, Sister Fatima Zahara. Welcome.
Waalaikumsalam.
Girl, you over there looking fabulous.
Oh, man.
All that.
Mashallah. It's a reflection of you. I love your timat. I love that color. I had that color on last night.
Yes, girl. We pink over here. Pink, purple, fuchsia, whatever one. We doing that. You glittering, girl. I love it.
Thank you, mashallah.
So how you doing today?
Thank you for having me here.
Sister, it's an honor to even have you here with us. You know, it's a blessing. You're blessing us with your nur, with your light. You're also blessing us with your talents and the various forms of artistry that you do. So we are pleased to have you.
Absolutely.
I'm happy to be here. Honored to be here. Come to with you guys tonight.
I mean, I think we just jumped right in it. Tell us about Fatima. Tell us who you are. I mean, I know we read the bio, but kind of give us a glimpse of who Fatima is and you know what it's about.
My name is Fatima Zahara. Some people call me Fatima. It gets messed up a lot. I was born in Newark, New Jersey. However, I did have a patriotic childhood, so we moved around a lot. I lived in Connecticut. I lived overseas. I lived in numerous countries. So we always moved around a lot, and I'm thankful to have had a childhood as that. What else? I'm an artist. So as we mentioned before, we spoke a couple days ago, and I was saying it's funny because some people know me strictly for poetry. But if I go into another community, they may know me for modeling, or some may know me for acting. I'm an artist, well-rounded. I like to dibble and dabble in all those things. But I think that the main strength that we all have as artists is the message that we can utilize to help bring communities together. That's why it's such an honor for me to be here with you guys and having you host me. I love what you guys stand for. I see the communal and the social construct of what you guys are trying to portray, and alhamdulillah, I stand behind it 100%. So anytime you guys need me to partake or help out, I'll be glad to do that. But I'm honestly, I have to be honest with you. This is my first live on Facebook.
Oh, wow.
I'm not on Facebook as much, but I'm going to change that moving forward. I like talks like this. I think that discussions need to be had more often, especially amongst artists. We have a big influence on the community, locally and internationally, just globally. You guys know how social media has changed the game. So I think it's important that we shed light on all the artists, known, unknown, people who are striving to just make a change. We're all in this together. Honestly, I'm happy to be here, especially in these times during Corona. It's a blessing to have had this meeting with you guys, the exchange.
Yes. So you mentioned that you are you're an artist, right? And so you say that very generally. But give us the specifics. Tell us about your different levels of artistry, and maybe even which one you love the best, if there is one.
So I would say the one that's nearest and dearest to my heart is writing, because writing has no color, no face, no anything. You can just write freely, and that's where I had found my voice in writing. As I got older, I've been able to express myself better, and still working on those things. But artists, we all have a unique way of expressing ourselves. So writing for me is the number one artistry that I hold near and dear to my heart. However, writing can be used and implemented in many shapes or forms, whether it's modeling. You have different people behind the scenes. Like, we see what we see, but there's so much that goes behind the scenes, and I think it's important to give voices to the narrators, the directors, the writers, all of those people who come together for the bigger picture. Because without no story, there's just an image, And I mean, we do live in a materialistic world, and I'm not gonna lie, I love art. I like playing around with colors. I love doing those things. But just as much as I am living here in the materialistic world, I definitely like to have those deep talks and, strive and learn about spirituality and those things, because we're all here as a vessel, to just give our input, basically, and try our best to help one another. A little bit more about me. I am a brain. I love to read a lot. So my major in college was linguistics. I trained classically, learning, reading and writing Arabic, conversing, and those things. Translation. I've done a lot of translation the last year and a half. So I dibble and dabble in those, different areas. I'm not restricted to one, but translation is such an important topic, and I think it's a lot of room for us to speak on translation, especially in religious texts, because we're all trying to. What people want is an identity. People want an identity, and religion is a lifestyle, and you have your identity, but Islam can be applicated to any shape or form, and that's the beauty of it. So I think that translation is really important, because there's so much from our religion that we don't understand, we don't know, and it's going to take time. It's going to take a lot of hard work, but I think that with a social awareness, pushing more towards understanding more so than you're right, you're wrong, I think that we can get more done that way. So, in a couple years, inshallah, you may see me, behind some things regarding that topic. But yeah.
Man,
so-
that sound like something, the doctor, you're gonna be a doctor or something. You're gonna share something exclusive. We already got the exclusive on Facebook Live.
The sister's a usted.
Well, we all need each other's help with you guys' support and everything. And, bismillah, we'll see. But yeah, I think it's definitely needed, especially for our youth. Especially for our youth. That's why I love what you guys are doing, what you guys stand for. I used to have a nonprofit organization, particularly for the youth, using mass media and arts to help express themselves, to help them stay out of the streets, to help them just, find themselves and do good. Just try to be a human being. I think we're getting away from that. But I do see the blessing in the digital media as well. So I think that we just need more of a balance and just, just try our best. No one has the answers. No one has all the answers. But I'm just here to help humbly any service you guys need me to be a part of. I love to do that. I love helping women. I think women and men are both important. Seeing that, putting out more of what we stand for instead of waiting and blaming and saying that we don't have a space. We have a space if we make it.
Excellent. Can you speak to your experience living in Africa, living in Senegal, your experience living abroad? How did that experience shape you to where you are now?
Wow. It was a journey. It shaped me beautifully, I believe, and I'm still learning from it. I still have relationships from living in Senegal, West Africa at that time, and I believe that was such a critical moment. I was very young in my teen years, but just seeing a different way of life, actually living, waking up at Fajr, going to school for Quran, coming back to eat breakfast at 9, going back at 10, coming back at 12 to take a lunch break, going back right at 3, coming back home at 6 to go back at, so it was all day, nothing but Quran. But I loved it. I loved my teacher. May Allah have, blessed his soul. He's passed away, unfortunately, some years back, but he just was so beautiful. He had a beautiful family, and you can tell he really, really just loved it in his heart. And all he wanted to do is help and give the knowledge to, our youth, because that's what's going to save us. That's what's going to help us, from all the mistakes and the things that's happening in the world. It's just from our ignorance, But, I think that, I got off topic.
No, you good.
But yeah, it was interesting that I loved it. I had so much fun. My teacher was strict, but what I liked about my teacher, he, every time we would go and say our juz or our chapter, what have you, for those who are listening, they may not be Muslim, they may not understand, but each chapter, we would memorize. And every time I would go and memorize or recite the part that I was supposed to have memorized, he would make me recite everything that I knew all the way to the end, no matter how much more that I had to add on. So I really, at first, I was like, wow, this is intense, but I appreciated it because review is one of the most important things. We can learn something, we can read something, but the repetition is what really gets you to mastering and gets you familiar with, any form of discipline, I believe. So it's really helped me seeing the way people live. They live with well, in our eyes, we say it's a little bit, but for them it's a lot, they live so simply, and some people may live off $2 a day. And it's really a humbling experience, a very humbling experience. I had fun. I did not want to go. And when I went alone as a team. So it was different. As my first international airplane ride, I don't know what my parents were thinking, but I got there safe.
Alhamdulillah.
I got there safe. They had differences of opinion. My dad, like I said, he was raised in he's West African, and my mom's African American. So I had the dynamic, unique experience of being able to see both cultures. My dad, in his mind, thought that I needed the experience. And, he traveled younger than me at Asian villages, and he was able to overcome all those things. So in his mind, he knew what he was doing, because you can't get me off a plane now. The corona has stopped, but I love traveling alone with sometimes I just love, it gets me, you know, in the zone. It just gets you to reflect, you know. Like life is so busy, especially here in the tri-state area, but sometimes just to relax, pray, and meditate, just take that time. I think that's important, but it shaped me beautifully, and I want to thank everyone who has helped me, you know, from that school, Sheikh Hassan, radiallahu anhu, Sheikh Mahi, Sheikh Kajani, all of those people. I really love and hold dear to my heart. So, yeah.
So now, what helped you to, or what was the leading force that gravitated you towards the arts? What was it about the arts that you love so much that became, you know, your form of expression in the world?
I guess freedom to just always find something new. So always, like, I feel as though art is it's a human language. We all understand it. We may not know why or how we understand, but we can it can resonate with us. We may not like the feeling. We may like the feeling, but any art that's out or has been out, it's being made, it has an effect and impact. And I think that is such a powerful tool. But most of all, the best part of it for me is the freedom, just being in the zone, you know, like I don't like rules.
Sister says she can't be
You
boxed.
have to learn the rules. You have to learn the rules to break them, but I don't like, maybe that's why. I don't know. Maybe, I don't know. I hope I answered that question.
No, you did. I mean, I feel like
Yeah, that's a good question.
I feel like what you shared with us was
this.
that it allows you to be free, you know, that there's a freeing for you in the expression of art, whether it's the writing, whether it's acting, whether it's modeling, like that's where you find your freedom. And I think for a lot of us, that's why we choose to do what we do, because that thing that we do is so freeing for us. Like that space doesn't feel confined or anything like that. It feels liberating. So I feel like that's what you said to us.
Thank you.
So you have we you know, you're a triple threat. First of all, let's bring up some comments, man. Let's bring up some comments.
Oh,
we got some people in the
Oh no.
We're gonna bring them in the comment section, man.
Thank you. I don't do well with compliments.
That's okay. Walaikum assalam, Sister Lish 2X is with us, man. She said you.
Thanks for everyone that's coming in. Assalamu alaikum.
She loves you. She loves you. And this is the part.
I love you too.
This is the part I like. Triple threat. She said you're a triple threat.
Nice.
Now, I want to for my this question, I want to focus a little bit on the poetry / the hip hop scene for you. What I want us to dive in just a little bit more into your experience in that industry and in that era. How has that treated you, and what really motivated you to go into the spoken word and specifically the hip hop scene?
The hip hop scene, or I guess that's what you guys call it, the hip hop scene has treated me, in my opinion,
come on, sister. You don't have to call it hip hop scene if you don't want.
I'm sorry?
You don't have to call it hip hop scene if you don't want it. I mean,
no, I don't mind. It's just I'm just talking. Don't pay too much attention. But the hip hop scene has the hip hop scene just has I've been really grateful for it. I mean, we all have experiences. We all run into people. Dealing with people is an art in itself. But what really motivated me to really just, I don't know, write and express myself, listen to beats, make random music and songs with my friends or people that I met at the open mic, honestly was just the art of singing, like Nas, Raekwon. I can listen to it all over and over again and always find a message. I think that is so powerful, something new. And just those guys are geniuses, just not even in music, but you can tell from the substance and the material that they have that, you know, they've either experienced a lot of things or they went through things that, you know, they had to overcome. Some of them may have not overcome, you know, some of the issues. Look at DMX. I love DMX. I mean, we've seen him go through, you know, so much, but I still respect and honor and like the things that he was willing to fight for, which was himself at first, you know, in humanity, dealing with all these type of issues. And I just love the African American experience because, you know, I do share that experience as well. And it spoke to me. You know, my mom raised me for a lot of my life. My dad's has raised me as well, but I spent a lot of time with my mom and her family. And, you know, they're African American, and seeing how my grandma migrated from a small town in the South all the way up here. She raised 5 women on her own, had nothing, and they all, you know, was able to push through and get a higher education and, you know, help provide for the family. Of course, that's not everything, but just getting through, learning, like we forget the value of education now. So understanding and looking at the importance of education really motivated me towards hip hop. That's what hip hop initially was, you know, created around the struggle, overcoming, always educating yourself, you know, making something out of nothing. So I just, I think that's what spoke to me. And I was like, oh, I could do this. This is fun. You know, like I may suck in the beginning or I may whatever. I'm just going to keep going. It was that freedom, that rhythm, that drive, that thing that we all share, you know, that I think that has touched me a lot. But yeah, when people, like certain artists make music, it inspires me. I just want to make a song. I want to tell my story, but it, you know, it takes time. It's a craft to really express all your feelings, and then you have to know all of your feelings to put it into a song form. So it's different levels. I like it. People look at it and they say it's art. People think sometimes anyone can make art, but art takes education and form and structure before you can have that freedom. It's the irony in it. It's interesting.
Yeah, that's key, right? Because with the freedom piece, if you don't have the education piece, you could crash, you could hurt yourself. And when you were just expressing about the upbringing of your mother being African American, your father being from West Africa, me and Bilal had a pleasure to being on a show just yesterday where they were talking about reaching across the Atlantic and the stereotypes, all these different things, these nuances that, you know, that separate us, even though we come from the same place. So I guess in your upbringing and in your culture and your art, all that together, how do you intertwine all of that? Do you address it consciously, or you just do you and then take it or leave it? Like, how do you present your diversity?
Anything that I put out, I try my best to have a conscious, you know, I may not always be in my right mind, but I always do try to, it comes from an inspiration. It's not just like, oh, we just post. But everything that I post or share or anything that I write, it comes from a need, a necessity. I still try I'm going to stick to my uniqueness and who I am and be myself. But I may have a message here or there, or, you know, it may just be a moment of reflection. I could be sitting in a car waiting for gas because, you know, in Jersey, we don't pump our own gas.
Right.
and And I don't know, I'll just think about different things or, you know, struggles that people close to me or that I had to go through. And, you know, it kind of just starts from there. And then, sorry, you guys. And then I take it and I write about it, or I paint about it, or I may write about it and throw it away and never look at it again. A lot of stuff, I don't, you know, but I do try my best to make sure that it's something that someone can benefit from or feel, or, you know, take it and help them turn it into something else or just continue. That's all. Like, we're all here to contribute and help. I always say that because I think that the highest form of humanity is service. Whether, you know, we share it or not, whether we show that we, you know, give service or not, but I think that it's important. And, you know, before you serve others, you have to kind of know yourself and try to balance yourself, because we all have the things that we struggle with every day. So that's that's a motivating factor for me and my daughter, of course, just trying to be the best example that I can, because students, children, their first education is from their mom, let alone home, and just trying my best, always thinking about her, and having those discussions with her, because the youth has changed. Now you have to tell them stuff because they're gonna find out anyway. So just having that in mind, and we troop on, and she's an artist as well, but she's a scientist too.
Now,
Yeah, we.
now, as a woman, uh, specifically an Afro American Muslima, navigating the industries that you're in a multitude of areas. Multitude. You're in the fashion industry. You're in the music / poetry scene. All the different industries, right? And one of the things that we were discussing, that we've been discussing too, and I've been learning from my Quran and study leadership class with Imam Rashad Abdul Rahman from Atlanta Masjid in Atlanta, is the influence of the Satan, the devil, or the Shaitan. Depends, for all those who may not know. Okay, you understand what I'm saying? That type of mindset, who lies on the straight path, as they say, or the Sirat al-Mustaqim, to basically get us off of that track. And he starts out in scripture. The influence starts out in scripture by giving us a warped understanding of who God is, who the Creator is, and a warped understanding of who we are as human beings, as servants to the Almighty Creator. But then after he leaves that, it goes into the culture. It goes into the culture where we're seeing right now the influence of that same mindset that said that it will lie on the Sirat al-Mustaqim, waiting for the believers to slip up, waiting for the servants to slip up. So with that being said, you're in this industry, these industries. How have you navigated them? How have you navigated them, and have you received any pushback as an African American Muslim?
I think what has helped me navigate, just life in general, but I'll say the industry for the sake of this interview, but I think it's a principle that can be applied, that it has to be applied to everything, especially when it comes to relationships and just moving, around people and working and being able to be comfortable in an environment, respecting everyone, you know. I always just had in mind the basic, don't lie, don't chill, don't steal, don't cheat, treat your neighbors kindly, those things like that we were all raised on, in any religion. And I always, my mom has always, and my dad always, repeated that, or has given us that information, and always really wanted us to focus on your purpose, your life, and what you put out there, because what you put out there, it doesn't come back sometimes, a lot of the time. So what are you doing it for? So finding meaning in life, and I think focusing on more the meaning in life versus the issues and the challenges. I think now what the question should be is, how do we manage the problems? Because I used to always try to feel like, well, how should I get rid of the problem? No, like, how should I manage the problem, or how should I manage myself? So learning about those tools and focusing on that more, knowing what to avoid, knowing what not to avoid. We know, like the religion teaches us, and sometimes we have our weaknesses, we have our struggles, and just asking for repentance, praying, when nobody sees you, that's most important. Just keeping that in mind, I think that has helped me a lot. I don't feel as though I've faced the resistance. I probably definitely have. I mean, look at the climate that we live in today. But I never take that home with me. I never try to bring that home with me. And I always look at it like every day that I wake up, I always look at it as every day that we live is a test. So how am I going to deal with the test today? You know, you wake up, you thank Allah for being here, say your dua, you pray, you know, do everything you got to do beforehand. How are you going to handle the world when you go outside? Those things are always in the front of my mind, and I try to have that be a compass for me, you know. But I know there's discrimination. I've had friends, I've had family members. I probably was discriminated against, but I don't take that, and if I let it fuel me, I try my best to look at myself. I may get frustrated, and we all get, you know, we all have our weaknesses. I may, you know, have a short temper in the moment, but I always try to look at the lesson in it. So that's what keeps me going, because we're all here to learn, you know, and we're going to make mistakes, but we're all here to learn and keep striving and keep pushing with sincerity, with that reminder, because when you keep going, you keep knocking down, you're going to get somewhere. But when you don't, you're not going to get anywhere. So, you know, the shaitan, you know, like, he knows us better than ourselves. He had the ranking of angels before, you know, he was expelled. So, you know, and that's the role that Allah had for him, you know. So what are we gonna do as our, you know what I mean? So it's just the more that I understand it, the less I try to let it infuriate me or things like that. But I just keep going with faith.
Yeah, before we continue, I really appreciate it. I really appreciate your, I would say, well, first the question would be, have your interpretation, you say you do interpretations, correct?
Just a translation.
Translations,
I began to translate. Yeah.
right. But as you're speaking, I'm hearing that principle, like in life, like you're taking something that could be a challenge, you're translating it or you're interpreting it different, and it's allowing you to apply. And yeah, so I really appreciate. It was just a compliment. I just want to say
Oh,
I
shukran,
appreciate
brother. Thank
that.
you. I didn't understand the question. Thank you. Yeah, I
Yeah, I
guess
don't think I had a
I'm trying.
question. Yeah.
Uh,
So for the young people out there, right? And I think where I'm going with this is particularly young girls, but for young people in general, right? The aspiring artists that we have in our communities. Um,
yeah.
I think I'm asking this question for them, or at least I'm asking the question with them in mind, and that is
Okay.
that in terms of your artistry, and I'm thinking more about like the modeling versus any of the other areas, but it probably relates to the other areas as well. Is there a difference expressing yourself in those different areas of art? Is there a difference that you're Muslim, or do you not even see, you know, or do you not even approach it that way?
Oh no. The moment I walk out the door, I always feel like I'm Muslim because I am Muslim. So I always have that in my mind because that's my identity. That's how I was raised. Um, so walking into the modeling world, I'm an artist where I like to contribute. So I like to offer things that may not be there. You know, we have different types of artists, and this is no disrespect to anyone, but it kind of is actually a relation. And to your other question that you asked about 10 minutes ago, but navigating the industry and knowing, I think that what happens is a lot of times people may not have, they have the desire, they are artists, but the package may be set for them already. So they step into that role. You know, that's why sometimes you see a lot of artists where, you know, if you look back at their old stuff, that wasn't even done, but that was what was given to them. But as an artist, I try to look at myself as a collaborator and with someone, you know, to bring, because I have so many ideas all the time. So I try to incorporate that into anything I do, modeling just as much as writing, just as much as, you know, learning a language, which is, you know, it's not easy, but I try to bring myself to it and just be true to myself. But that's one of the first questions people ask because they see how I dress. You know, my majority of the time, you know, I have my head wrapped. So people already have questions. People see a certain image. They they're gonna question you, you know, like maybe out of curiosity, or you know, maybe a compliment, or you know, about my head wrap. But and my name, you know, I get questions about my name, the meaning of my name, and then you know, I may speak about my religion and how I was raised and things like that. But I always let that be known that I'm Muslim, you know. And if it's not asked, then I think that people could see that. But um, yeah, I try. I think too. Um, Sometimes religion isn't, you know, talked about. People just come and they do their jobs. But whatever I accept, that's how I move. You know, I have the last say so, because you know I have to protect myself, and that's what in any job. You know, you have your boundaries, you have your limits, you have things that you may do or you may not do. So people have to figure out those things for themselves, and you know, let that guide them. But um, yeah, no, I think it's all me. I think it's all me.
Yeah, and you just said something that sort of stood out for me, right? You said that, you know, a lot of times religion isn't even discussed. You know, people just come to work and do their jobs. And I think for the most part, that is true. But I find that when it comes to Islam, then there are sort of the questions. And so, um, you know, I think, you know, I didn't grow up Muslim. You know, I grew up Christian. So just like, um, I could see in those instances, especially when I look at, you know, my workplace or the workplaces that I've been in the past, you know, there's really not a question when it comes to having a background of Christianity and being in whatever environment you're in or whatever industry you're in. When it is a difference of religion, whether it's Islam or something else, it just seems like that in a lot of cases that becomes sort of a topic of discussion, or like, oh, I got to tiptoe around her, or you know, that kind of thing. And I think for our young people who do aspire to be artists, sometimes there's that conflict there as to how their artistry and the Deen, the you know, their lifestyle come together. And you talked about it first started the podcast, that you know, religion is the way of life, right? And so a lot of times we sort of put religion in we put it in a category, like put it in this box over here, and religion is in this box over here, and the rest of my life is in this box over here. Whereas it's not that way, right? It's the way of life. And I think for a lot of young people, maybe people in general, but I'm specifically thinking about young people. Um, it seems to be the struggle of how do I fit what I love, which is my artistry, into my way of life, which is Al-Islam for us, um, and make it work. Yeah, so I was just wondering what your experience was in that, which you know you just shared with us. So thank you for that.
Well, I definitely would say like now we've seen more of a space and room for Muslim voices. And I think what it was before, you know, we had so many mis- misconceptions and past events that have taken place that, you know, affected the world's view in a certain way. And that has to do with media and things like that. And so people weren't really understanding. So it may seem as though it's hate sometimes, but you'd be surprised, a lot of people, they just don't know. And so like once you talk to them and, you know, you answer those questions, and you know, they seem truly like genuinely interested. Like I've had friends who converted after just like talks. I was shocked. I never, you know, could have anticipated those things. But there is always, you know, the shaitan. You know, there's always people who's just trying to get you to do what you don't want to do in any religion. But in Islam, yeah, we've had our challenges, especially in the West. But I think that people are, you know, they're getting more comfortable because we are seeming to be more accessible, and that's one of the things that, you know, I did see us lacking. And as a community, you know, I would talk to some, you know, some of my elders on the shore, things like that, that, you know, the inclusivity, sometimes Muslims, we like to um how do I say this, like we just like to be in our little corner, you know, not talk to anyone. And that's not how Islam spreads. You have to interact with people from all walks of life. You have to, that's a part of our service, you know, first. So we have to know, like, what are the, you know, what are the major sins or the minor sins? Like, there's different, you know, so once we start thinking about those things and thinking about our religion and learning more about our religion. There's Muslims who, you know, may not even know how to read Surah Al-Fatiha, but they're striving. They want to be Muslim. They reverted, they converted, whatever it is. You know, I pray that it doesn't let them affect their journey. However, I can speak for myself. I never let the media or anyone make me do anything. Everything that I've done is because I've wanted to do it. But I do see that people it's hard, you know, people being realistic and talking about the real issues, people can let it affect them because we don't know what people are going through. It's not an excuse, but people react to things differently, and they may let their job or, you know, their family or anyone talk them into doing something that they may not be comfortable with. So we look at it in the industry sense because it's magnified and everyone sees it, and this is what, you know, we have a popular culture, but it happens in every so many different areas in work. I would say in corporate, because I've done corporate jobs and things like that. I've worked corporate jobs. I've definitely felt a little bit of tension, and it wasn't, you know, I didn't know what to make of it because I don't like to assume, but definitely tension and lots of questions. You know, like asking me, you know, you don't party, right? Or you don't do these things. Just asking different questions, and you know, I would answer them, and you know, they would respect it, and they wanted to know more about fasting. They wanted to know about Ramadan. They had heard about it, they'd seen about it, but they didn't know, you know. And I always try to, like, I tell people, like, I'm not perfect. Don't listen to me. Listen to the Prophet. Don't listen to Allah. What I have is my input and you know, my opinion, but you know, I'm in this with all of you guys. We're all in this together. But in my mind, I don't know, like my mom, she's a strong woman, grandma, strong woman. We, you know, we're stubborn. So I don't know, it's pretty hard to get us to just do it. Yeah.
I mean, it seemed like it's stubborn in a good way. So how can we get this good stubbornness, right? This good conviction that you have to outside of your artistry and everything like that, as far as community development, what are some things that you would like to implement that you don't see out there now?
That's a good question. I would definitely like to see a bridge between the youth and the elders in our communities. Like, you know, like so many elders ask me, you know, what can we do? How can we connect to the youth? Or, you know, they may not agree with, you know, the ways that we handle things or the ways that we practice our religion or the ways that we, you know, they may not agree with it. And that's okay. Like I said, I think that in this era, people are scared to disagree. It's healthy to disagree. We should have healthy debates. That's why people from different backgrounds are all here together. But I think that, what was the question again?
I don't know, sis, but you just inspired me. New Freedom Healthy Debates coming soon. Let's get it rolling. You can't hurt nobody because you're on virtual, so you can't hit me. You know what I mean?
I don't know. Confidence. Oh, you were talking about confidence and how can we get our youth to? I think just loving each other. We need to love each other. There's so much hate, animosity, and a lot of it is just misunderstanding, and it's frustrating. Like I'll admit, sometimes it frustrates me. Like I think we should just come together, love each other, and everyone's not gonna like everyone. That's human nature, but respect is key. Like having the edeb, and I think learning that, and you know, check each other on it. We don't have to check each other publicly or try to humiliate each other, but you know, like genuine, real concern, and not just concern for when you see someone in an error, but like support them all the way. Concern, you know, like, so I think that just we have to focus on being genuine and loving each other, and the rest will come. Like Allah will guide us if we have that faith and just keep going. You know?
I think that you make a good point about because we kind of get into this mode where we have to judge other people. You know, you're not practicing the deen. You know, you don't wear what you should be wearing. Your beard ain't long enough. Flam, please.
Sounds like you heard this before, beloved.
We all have.
We all have.
All have.
We all
Like,
have.
yeah, can we get a break? Like, let's go pray together.
At the end will be all, you know, something. End will be all the end result of what we must be doing on a larger scale. You know, what I'm saying is a sense of, like you said, building a sense of understanding, and as you saw in the background, strengthening our common bonds. I know that's an old series that we did a couple of weeks ago, maybe a month ago, but it's still relevant to the times that we're living in because, you know, we have this divide, you know, I'm saying, just amongst Muslims in general, and just amongst, even on a micro level, amongst African American Muslims. You know, you got the Akal Sunni guys with no Jamaats, they ain't got nothing going for them. You know, something, they just got a little master that they can barely hold on to. You know, so I'm saying, and everyone's in there doing everything. The brothers is hitting on the sisters. Everything's just crazy. It's just nonsense. You know, so I'm saying, there's no code of conduct. You know, so I'm saying, there's no code of conduct in the sense of how we deal with each other. You know, so I'm saying, how we talk to each other, how we talk to the youth, how we talk to the elders. You know, so I'm saying, how, you know, so you know, these are some of the things that, you know, are out there, and it leads me to my question. Before we get into station identification, my question in reference to, as an African American Muslima, have you received, if we talk about support, have you felt that you received support from the Muslim community, more specifically the African American Muslim community, in your endeavors?
I received a lot of support. Maybe it's because like some of these people I know, but man, you guys have been sticking with me since the beginning. Just me. I started on MySpace. I don't know. I was a geek, just making pages, loading it. And it was just fun for me just to have a web page, you know. Right. So yeah, shout out to MySpace users. But
so bad.
And I would have my sister record me, and my eyes. I feel like everyone has supported me in some way, shape, or form. I'm not just trying to be diplomatic. Trust me. Like this is a genuine feeling. I really, because I like the last couple years of my life, I've tried my best to be more grateful and have gratitude, and I'm always I feel like I complained a lot before. You know, I find things to complain about, but like when I actually think about it, people do support you. They may not like everything and and that's okay. Be honest. If you don't like it, you don't like it, and don't tap, don't like. It's okay. But I think that people love me. I have love for people, and you know, people love me for the sake of Allah, hopefully just as much as I love them for the sake of Allah, regardless of us seeing eye to eye. But I think that I have received support, and I don't think I've demanded support. Like, I've never really pushed, you know, to seek the support either. Like, I probably could do more, but I just put it out, and then whatever happens, happens. I may ask my friends sometimes, you know, like, share, but honestly, like, in an artist's mind, we just want to get it out of us, you know. I don't, you know, but the African American community, it's hard because I've always been in like multicultural environments. Like I graduated from an all Arab school. In elementary school, I did go to an all Muslim women's school. It was African American predominantly, but and you know, I had great support there. I think, and not all the teachers were African American, but we just came in as people, and I think that's what we have to get. We do have to talk about our issues too, but we do have to normalize, again, all of us are human, and that's what the Prophet ﷺ preached the most. That's what he preached the most, and like we keep subconsciously putting, you know, barriers between us all, and we don't really have to do that. So I think like life is simple, we make it difficult, but overall I think people have supported me, and I love you guys for that, and I hope you guys continue to support me and, you know, be here with me throughout my journey, and I'll do the same regardless of what happens.
Absolutely. We all got a piece of this $80 trillion pie. That's the world economy. The GDP is 80 trillion. So you're right. We do kind of shortchange ourselves if we just go after the 3 trillion that they say African Americans spend. But at this time, we would like to do a station identification. This is New Freedom Exchange, your cultural expression for social dignity and community development empowerment. I'm your host, Brother Dean, here with my co-host, Imam Bilal, and Sister Marsha. We are glad to have our dear sister Fatima. She said they say it different ways, but she's holding it down, giving us some very much needed balance, perception of life, of culture, of identity, right, and taking our responsibilities very serious. Since we did make a little joke earlier about the pie, we might as well do a little interlude commercial real quick, and then we'll be right back. So y'all check this out. If you haven't,
after the commercial, I have a suggestion. A suggestion.
Absolutely, we want to hear that. Here we go. This is New Freedom Pie. Check it out.
We king of the pies, new flavors on the scene. Started out with the navy bean, I can't make it up, no Maybelline. We had to do for self and get paid the green. Started out with the bean pie. It's a must, gotta eat to live. You gon' see why we them guys. It's kind of freedom pie. Come taste the secret recipe, secret recipe, secret recipe. Dessert food is our specialty, is our specialty, is our specialty. Your taste buzzing with freedom live. That new freedom pie. Your taste buzzing with freedom live. That new freedom pie.
Yes. Let me tell you something. Get that pie. Man, a pie, Fatima, you need a pie, sis. I'm telling you. You gotta try that.
I'm gonna make a confession. See, I gotta make a confession. I made a confession on Zoom the other day. I never used to like bean pie.
Oh, girl.
Oh, that's good. You the ones we love. Yeah, you the ones we want you to try now. That's what we want. We want the disbelievers.
But I started to, but I only can have like 2 versions. But I'm confident. I've heard a lot about this pie. This pie has the spirit.
Got it at 11 and it's almost gone.
See, it's not even easy for me to get. That's how I know this pie is going to be so good.
It's a snack that'll bring you back. You know what I mean? So we are back. We're back. We're back. My father, he got the right. He says it's delicious and nutritious. You know what I mean? It's the treat Muhammad Ali used to eat before he knocked him off his feet. You know what I mean? So, but we'll stop.
Got some people in the queue. So misunderstood says assalamu alaikum. Peace and love.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. How are you?
Thank you for tuning in.
Thank you guys for showing in. Peace and love and light.
This is Latifa Abdullah.
Oh, thank you. That's my auntie.
Hey, auntie.
Mashallah, so proud of you. Yes. Okay.
Me and her daughter we study Quran together.
Nice.
In
Nice.
West Africa.
Nice.
Yeah, she's
Nice.
an amazing chef. Shout out to my friend Anaya Blocker, all my friends out there, because to start naming names, they're gonna be like, "Oh, you didn't name me." Everyone out there. Shout out to you guys. But it just came up. Yeah, that's her daughter.
This is our brother. This is our brother Kashabi Abdullah. He is a jazz musician. He's been in the African American Muslim community for a very long time.
Wow.
Arts. He will be on our show actually tomorrow at 5:00 to discuss his art and discuss what he's working with as well. So this interview is very beautiful.
Yeah.
So he's working on some special. He's gonna be working with us on some very special, very very special project, and we're gonna want you, sister, Fatima, to be part of it. For sure. So we can't really unravel the
talk about it.
Yeah, we can't really unravel those right now, but this is coming in the pipeline. We have our brother Bari Muhammad. He makes a comment in reference to what we were saying before we went to commercial break. He says, "I think Muhammad Ali was a pace setter in terms of someone not being shy, intimidated by his identity. We have a different environment now." I do agree. Muhammad Ali was different.
Beautiful. That's beautiful. Thank you guys for tuning in. This was like a progressive conversation. I like that. I like
Absolutely.
these topics. No, I enjoy these topics. I don't get to do them, because I don't get to them as much. But now, hey.
Yeah, we may have to have you host the what we called it, the healthy debate, aka progressive conversations. You know what I mean?
Lord.
Let's get it going, sister.
That's right. We have Sister
You know what? Let me go get my law back on. Let me go resume my law classes.
Yes.
Absolutely.
I think that's something that's important too. We want change, but how bad do we want it? We need to be just as involved in the laws and things and stop making excuses, Like we have to, like, the blueprint is there, we just gotta do it. No one can do it alone. No one can do it alone. We keep fighting. Why? For what? Everyone's watching. Why do we have to fight? But my suggestion that I had earlier, I think that we should do more group readings of the Quran. We don't do that enough. It's a really good practice, and it purifies us. And we don't read the Quran enough. Like, we pray, but we may not read the Quran enough. We're supposed to read continuously and try to understand, And reading in groups, we get so many blessings.
Absolutely. I'm surprised that the chamber I'm gonna pull out right now. I think it's due to come out, so we're gonna pull this one out.
Oh,
I would like the sister, talk about how this experience went on set.
Oh. Oh my God. You guys ain't right. Okay.
So talk to us.
Oh, Allah.
Let us know about that.
I was just as happy as you guys are. Because I'm a geek, so I read people's bios, like Muslim or not. I read people's bios of people that have impacted the world, who had, ideas, who've been through things. I just read people's bios. I try to understand them. I love to just try to, understand the journey and the motivation. But so I've been, into the acting as I would say a freshman. The last year and a half or 2 years, it's something that I always knew that I wanted to explore, and but at school was always holding me over. I had jobs, and just different things. The timing was just off. But coming back from Egypt, I came back I think 3 years ago. And I was like, you know what, I'm gonna sign up. I'm gonna go to like a couple agencies. I want to see what's out there. Even though I create as well, so when I don't do those things, I create, I write. I have my own screenplays. I haven't shared it with the world yet, but I was just like, let me just see how it is to get the experience. I've read about it so much. I've been studying what to do, how to, learn about connections, how to learn about behind the scenes and all those things to self-educate myself. But experience is we all know it's a different animal. So, I registered and I didn't even look for that. They asked me because they took my headshot, and this particular agency only accepts headshots that they take. So I went there, I did a headshot. Of course, it was with my hijab. So, they asked that I want to be on the show. I read about the show. I said, oh my God, this is crazy because this is like my life. I understand it. And I've always had these ideas. I just was happy it was being done. And I thought it was so cool. I love how they incorporated the Arabic and living amongst Arabs. I have Arab friends and associates, and going to the schools with them here prior, living in the middle East, Northern Africa. I really got to understand a lot of the culture, Like, at first things may have bothered me, and, I took it a different way, but they see it a different way. That's the beauty of living in different places and meeting with different people and having those talks, because doing one thing in one culture may be rude, in another culture it may be, hey. So I had to go, and so I saw those nuances in the show. And shout out to Rami. He actually was trained and went to the school that I began going to, Esper Studio, which is a notable school in the city. And it's just so many artists, particularly thespians, have studied there. So I've been honored to be alongside them, and I just love how he took his identity, his culture, his truth, and he wasn't afraid to be judged, to get to a deeper understanding. I'm not, we may not agree with everything, but at least we know. We have to know how. We have to talk about these things. I can't stress it enough. So I just loved, you know, that. And I was on season 1 actually, but that part got cut out. You know, like that happens. Movies parts get cut out with so many different scenes, and I understand that. Like, you know, it's not one person doesn't have the final say. And then season 2, I was happy to get called back. And who do I see? Marsha. I was like, wow, this is cool. This is so, and I love the role that he played. I also got to run into Amir Suleiman, famous poet. I actually hosted a show for him back in the days in Philly, me and Nejma 53. And I was like, wow, you're a writer? Because like he's a writer. He's like, yeah. So I thought that it was so cool to have Muslims and, you know, doing our artist thing and different sectors and under one umbrella. I thought it was so cool for us to all come together and everyone was happy, and it was like, it was just really nice, you know. And some of the actors there, you know, of course some of them weren't Muslim, and they had questions asking, were you born Muslim? And we got to have those talks. So it was nice. It happened by accident, but you know, that's how a lot of things happen. And through those things you form relationships and you learn and, you know, keep pushing. But it was nice.
So in terms of so let's go back to the conversation about like your artistry and specific, and I want to sort of connect it to advancing culture, African American culture, Islamic culture. How important? Because when we first started the show, I don't know if it was in the bio or something that you mentioned, but I know there was a conversation about the fact that your artistry, that artists are important to the whole cultural narrative. And so my question to you is, why are artists important to the cultural narrative, and what opportunities have you had to sort of move the needle forward in what you do for the culture?
I'm sorry, can you repeat the last part of the question?
Sure. Now the last part, well, the first part is why is art in whatever expression it is important for the culture, and then the second part is what specific opportunities you had that helped to sort of push the needle forward, if you feel like you've had them at all. Um, what experiences have you had to sort of move the needle forward for the culture?
I think that the experiences that I've had, they all have a similarity, a common denominator, a common factor, which is no one really knows you. You only know who you are, and even in that, you're still trying to figure out who you are. No one really knows you. So the best thing you can do is try to be better for you. You know, you know, and so I've always, I just kept certain stories, certain struggles in my mind, and you know, I tried to dig deep from those sources. Of course, my daughter is always one of the like the number one motivator for me, and just being there for her is important. But let's see, what have I run into that has, I don't know, just being open to hear um, other people's opinion or question or suggestion, you know, just being open. I think like being open, trying my best to be open, you know, so hard to be, but being open, whether you agree with it or not, I think that has always centered me to push through. But it's funny because I guess you could say I'm in the industry, but I feel like I'm in life. Like I don't, I really feel like that. I really like. So like it's funny. Some friends are like, "Why you're just so nonchalant about it? Like wow, all these people you know and things." And it's just like this is a life experience. One day, like we may not be here. We just lost So, we lost so many people. I've lost so many people too, especially like within this year, like this year alone. So just trying to do as many good deeds as possible, whether it's a smile or just helping someone like shoot a video or, linking someone with someone or helping people move to Egypt. I've had people like ask me, wow, how did you, get here? How did you study? I've helped connected people to move to Egypt and West Africa and other places that I've traveled. At one point, I was like a mini traveling agency. If you ask me, I had so many DMs and people asked me because people were happy. People, felt like they could do these things as a Muslim, as a woman, as an African American, just to keep pushing. Have I had probably, hate or discrimination towards me? Yes, but you can't let that shape you and what you want to do because like this world is not for the weak.
Mm.
So, and then if I get really overwhelmed, I just read Quran. So like I'll be honest with you, like Quran and dhikr, like I'll dhikr in my mind. You don't even know what I'm saying. Like I'll just go back, revert to my instincts, and those are my instincts. That's what I've been instilled with by the grace, of my mom and everyone else who's helped raise me and our family. So I think that's the best way that I've tried to do it. Everyone has their own ways. Like you have to find your own way. What do you believe in? If you really believe in that, find 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 what works for you. Find what makes you get closer to God. For some people, doing one thing may not work for them. They may need to go and they may need to go listen to sermons in the church, the temple, and the masjid. Just they want to challenge. They want to ask people. We forget, like our ancestors, they did the same thing. They asked questions. They challenged Umar, radiallahu anhu, challenged the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam before he accepted Islam. So like people accepting Islam and practicing Islam, that's their journey that they have to go through. We shouldn't rob people of their journey. We do have to have limits, boundaries, and respect for each other. But that's one of the things that's helped me push and navigate through. Oh, I do have one good story. Okay, so because you did ask me, did I have like a challenge? Okay, so I remember now. It was somewhere in like West Bubba and PA, some agency. I don't remember the name, but even if I did, I wouldn't say it. Just it's no point. But it was nice. It was no shade to anyone. It was a family-owned agency, but they knew people had connections, and I came in there like I had my turban wrapped up, and they liked me. They said like I did one of the best on the readings and everything, but they was like, I have to be honest with you. We don't really have a place for Muslims. Like we don't know what to do. We don't know. And she asked me, then she went on to ask me, other questions, like would I be comfortable with this or that, and, I said what I said, and we had a mutual understanding, but I left. That's okay. Just because it's not a place for me here, it's not meant. And we may work on other things in another field. It doesn't have to be for modeling, but they wanted to use me. They love, and a lot of times like I said, this is not even, sometimes this doesn't have to do with religion. It's just the job itself. So people may cast something and they may think they know what they want, but they don't know what they want. They see someone else new with, who wants to bring an idea, and that's how things come together. It's like so many different pieces that happen in the background and backstage. It's really like a collaborative effort. Certain projects are more strict, like I know certain directors and movie makers like Spike Lee, like he's very strict and he has a vision. So you got to kind of know who you're working with and what jobs do you, my suggestion to artists would be like, and to myself, what jobs do you want to work and what changes do you want to make? How do you see yourself? And then look more towards those people who have similar interests, try to collaborate with them, work with them, and you'll have, it's going to be hard. People are going to challenge you, religion, gender, everything. People are going to challenge you, but you have to just keep going and have faith. Fear no man, have faith. And, yeah. I think so. I think that's it.
Excellent. Way to bring us on home to the finish line. Excellent. So she just slid right there, nice and easy. You know what I mean?
I love these questions. Wow. I gotta get the technique. Where you guys get the questions from?
Yeah.
Interviewing is a skill. Interviewing is an art. People don't know. Like I took some journalism classes. I like this. I'm learning a lot.
Well, we think we are grateful. We are grateful to Almighty Allah, Creator, Subhanahu wa Taala, how they glorify the Most High, and grateful for you, Sister Fatima, for blessing us with your presence, blessing us with your beautiful words, your artistry, your multi-talented persona. You know what I'm saying? We will again, the invitation is an open one. Anytime how you want to use this platform, the platform is wide open. You know what I'm saying? Anything, we will support you. We will continue to support you and find ways to support you as best ways we can. We'd like to also say that thank the audience for their participation. Thank you all for tuning in. Thank you to all those who have shared and those who have commented. Thank you to special. I just got a notification from beloved Tone Trump. He was tuned in as well from Philadelphia. You know.
Thank you.
Thank you. You know
See, everyone came through.
Yeah, everyone came in.
You brought them all in.
Shout out to New Freedom Exchange.
You already know. Let's get it in.
Thank you so much, Brother Dean, Brother Bilal, Sister Marsha. Thank you. I appreciate just being able to make a space for these type of discussions. I think it's important, and we shouldn't shed away from it. And thank you for asking all the hard questions, and thank you.
Yeah, with the Instagram, the hands of Fatima. Scrolling down the bottom for those who want to follow the sister and see what she's doing, see what she's up to, support her.
Yeah, so I add that in the chat.
Yeah, she also has the
camera.
Want me
to add it in the chat or something?
No, we got it on the screen. We got it on the screen already.
Oh, they got it.
Yeah, they got it on the screen. We got the camera business too. The frames of Fatima.
Okay.
Oh yeah, that's my photography page.
Ooh, okay, now.
But it's okay. You'll find me eventually.
But yes, support the sister on all those fronts. Also, check her out on SoundCloud as well. She has some music out. She does a lot of freestyle as well. So check her out on the music scene as well. She definitely has those up streaming live as well. What else?
I have a YouTube channel. What else? That's about it. Instagram. I'm on Twitter, but I'm not a Twitter expert. I don't know how it works.
Give us the YouTube. Give us the YouTube. Should get the people the YouTube.
It's the Hands of Fatima or Fatima Zahara. It's just spelled the same way. You can find it.
Got it. Hands of Fatima. Yes, we got it. So follow the sister on YouTube as well. She's up there. You know what I mean? She got flowing. She got all. As you see, we only deal with talented people here, multi-talented individuals. Every person has come so far on the platform has delivered, some sort of guidance to give us some sort of inspiration, some sort of motivation. We're hoping that you all are watching and viewing, or who will view this later, listen to this later, feel motivated and feel inspired at the end of the day, and that anybody can get a piece of the pie. This pie that's out here, this New Freedom pie that's out here. Literally, we need more of this. Not just the exchanges is one thing, but also the most important thing is getting a piece of the pie, getting a piece of the culture. And when I say getting a piece of the pie, I'm not talking about just getting it for yourself. No, this is about the collective body.
$80 trillion.
$80 trillion. The individual, they said that's why I don't get in Kupa mode, but the bees kill off the female bee after she's done. After she's done, they don't worship individualism. That's my point. There's more about the collective body, how the bees maintaining the hive. They're worker bees. That's what we're supposed to be. Workers for Allah in advancing the cause of social dignity and uplifting humanity at all costs. You know what I'm saying? At all costs. There's no excuses. You know what I'm saying? Whatever we can do, even if it's one thing in one form, if it's art, if it's poetry, if it's rap, if it's jazz, if it's in government, if it's in education, whatever it is, you find your niche, you own it, you hone it. You know what I'm saying? You cherish it, because that's Allah's gifts to us all. That's the greatest gifts to us all. So that is my final thought, Sister Marsha.
Yeah, and I actually, some of what you said is what I'm going to repeat and maybe say it in a different way. Thank you, Sister Fatima, for being with us today. Thank you for being an example of living your right? Because there's so many of us who have a gift, who have a talent, who have a dream, and a lot of us let that thing die inside of us. And so um, I feel like our platform is a platform for people to be able to display how they are living that thing that they didn't allow to die inside of them, and it's being put out in the forefront for the benefit of obviously promoting your gifts and your talent and your artistry, but also to show other people that if Sister Fatima's doing it, then I can do it too. And and I just want to thank you for being brave enough and being bold enough to put it out there and be who you are in the world so that other people can see your expression and also aspire to live fully and live boldly. You know, Allah gives us gifts and gives us talents, and we should be using them and not let it sort of just dwindle away because, you know, because we're black or because we're Muslim or because we're a woman or because we're a mom. You know, Sister Fatima is black. She's African American, she's young, she's a mother, she's a woman. So there's no excuse for us, right? If the sister's doing it, then you can too. So thank you for being an expression that for us so that we motivate more people to do that in their lives and push our culture forward and put out those positive narratives to sort of defeat those negative ones that have been out in the environment for so long. I feel like now is definitely an opportunity and a time for us to grow and to thrive and to become. And we put people on the show just like you to be able to be an example and expression for that of that. So thank you so much for being with us today.
Excellent.
Right on, right on.
Thank you.
Scrolling down the
Thank
screen,
you so
by
much.
the way.
God bless all of you. I love what you guys are doing, and keep going. It's already big because why it's here. You named it. You guys had the thought. It's being done already. So I'm here 100%.
I mean, we appreciate you, sister. Scrolling down behind the screen, just two more announcements. Our patron NFX /.
Hold on. We're not gonna let her go. I got this thing from Instagram. I think it's a freestyle or something. We gotta put.
No, I was
Yeah, she ain't gonna slide out of here unless you want to do a quick 16 or something, sis.
What's going on?
I told you guys surprises, sister. I told you guys surprises, man.
What's happening?
Easy. And then she said, "What's happening?"
I told you guys surprises, sister. I told you. Patreon.com.
Nice. Look, let's put some water on that one.
Get ready.
Yes, I got really.
Patreon.com/NFX Daily for those who want to support us. Daily digital content at any level or those levels that you see there. You can support us when you go to the website NFX. Patreon.com/NFX Daily. Last thing before I get off the rostrum, the last thing I have, the Bilalian Trust, PayPal.me/the Bilalian Trust. This is our cultural heritage, cultural preservation project and heritage project that we have that's to preserve our history as the people indigenous to this country, Afro American Muslims indigenous to this country. Preserving that, preserving those artifacts, digitizing those artifacts, etc. We have our first publication that's available of the Human Dignity series, which highlights a snippet of the CRADE movement, the coalition moving the racial images of the divine that was happening in the early 1980s. It is something that's very important to our history in this country as Muslims, but most importantly as African Americans and as human beings. There's some letters in there from Muhammad Ali, etc. It's really good. And for you to get a copy of that, all you have to do is just donate something to the cause. It could be $1, 50 cents, $500. You know what I mean? This is all continuation to.
I gotta share it.
Yes.
Send me the link. I don't know if you shared it. Yeah, I'm gonna share it.
Yes. Don't worry. You know, I got you. Now that's definitely Dean. I know you got something in the chamber. Like you got an instrumental in the chamber. You want to get a 16 out of the sister or what, man?
I was gonna do it like that. I was just gonna play the.
You want to rock the freestyle?
Yeah, you're play one of my songs. That'd be nice.
Yeah, I think you did a freestyle on Instagram. That's what I got here. It's a 1 minute joint. I got that.
Oh yeah, probably.
Yeah.
I used to do them like water.
Yes.
Come back slowly. So I got things coming in. It's in the works. Inshallah.
Excellent. Also, last thing, there is in the comments I just posted, there will be another premiere of the Dr. Z's webinar birthday launch of his new course. Check it out. I put the link in the description. It'll be it'll be premiered on YouTube. Now we have Fatima. Check her out. Check her out.
See, lately I've been studying impatiently the passion they mistakenly expected me to blatantly enroll into a spiritual slavery. Quite messed up, but the face of me awaken me. I take everything I say sacredly. I'm not for the vacancy. I'm not for the hatred me. I'm more than make believe. Negativity's forsaken me. And that's nothing but thankfully. So thankfully, everything ain't what it cut out to be cakery. Sometimes I just can't wait to leave. The chaos holds no weight to me. The lifespan of you and me be the way to just wait and see. Action takes agency. Ignorance be the vacancy. Meaning my passion be saving me. Passion be saving me. Lately I've been studying impatiently the passion they mistakenly expecting me to blatantly enroll into a spiritual slavery. Quite messed up, but the face of me breaking me. I take everything I say sacredly.
Woo!
Hey,
That was just a taste. All right. Until next time, this is your New Freedom Exchange. Excellent cultural expression for social dignity, community empowerment. Until next time, peace.
Assalamu alaikum, everybody. Peace.
Assalamu alaikum, everyone.
They tryna turn Trenton into baby Flint. Been signs by depression on the billboards ever since. 100 years ago we was lynched. Now they use germ warfare to kill us. I'm convinced, got the evidence. I look around and it's evident. Then go down to City Hall and see so much negligence. Real art is intelligent. A true artist sends messages that speak to your intelligence. They fought and died so I can do my thing. Not to get drunk and high or join no gang. I will not let none of you die in vain. For my people I bang, bang, bang. My ancestors been through so much pain. I don't let them die in vain. My ancestors been through so much pain. I don't let them die in vain. I rep for you in everything I do. I rep for you in every place I go. I rep for you in everything I do. In every place I go. They say post-traumatic slavery disorder's fake, but I just tell them all to wake up. Everything we went through, what a way down a rape, bro. It's in our genetic makeup. So I am my ancestors from block to block. Let's build like it's Tetris. We must unite, link up like a necklace. They fought and died and we disrespected. So I come to correct it. The legacy they left I protected. We only think about self and neglected. You're African but yet you rejected. No. My ancestors been through so much pain. I don't let them die in vain. My ancestors been through so much pain. I don't let them die in vain. I rep for you in everything I do. I rep for you in every place I go. I rep for you in everything I do. In every place I go. I do. I go.